what we're going to go through today then is how to use our Friendly Score integration with Insight. So this is the bank feed integration, which then would feed into your bank reconciliation screen. So really, really handy for cashiers and bookkeepers who are doing the bank rec every week to try and help them to do that a little bit more efficiently for them. Okay, my name is Ruth. My colleague Stephen will be available on the chat for any questions you might have. The webinar is being recorded, so it will be sent out by email for anybody to be able to rewatch, and it's on a private YouTube link as well, so that will be sent out after the session. During the session, I'm going to go through how to register for Friendly Score through Insight, and also then how to actually link your online bank accounts to the database. Okay, the function will enable your accounts team then to actually be able to reconcile your banks a little bit more easily and efficiently, as the bank feeds then will match the postings that have already been made on the system. If the postings haven't been made on the system, you can actually also create postings from your bank statement as well. So again, if something has been missed, or it's it's something that your accounts team maybe haven't been told about or something like that, you would be able to create a posting from the bank statement itself. Okay, so the Friendly Score itself is our third-party integrated bank provider. Okay, so once you've registered with Friendly Score through the external services setting on Insight, you will be then able to link your bank accounts onto your online accounts on Insight. So the first thing to do, I'm just going to show you a quick look with Friendly Score. So if I just bring up my Chrome page here, this is what we're talking about here. Now you can go on, this is just the Friendly Score website, so you can go on and have a quick look at this if you want, okay, just to see maybe a little bit more about Friendly Score before you register. You can see all the different products that they use. You can see also their link to us, and you can see that we're one of their partners as well on here. You can see then, you can also have a look and see what kind of supported banks that they do. So you can have a quick look and see all the different bank accounts, any bank providers that you need on here. Okay, so definitely go and have a quick look around their website just to kind of get an idea of what they do. And we'll go through like I've got a couple of sort of maybe like FAQs that we'll do beforehand. So whenever you're registering with Friendly Score, a couple of FAQs that we have is, do you have to register with Friendly Score before you do anything on Insight? So no, you don't. You can sign up, you don't have to sign up separately at all. It's all done through external services on your Insight database. That's where you register for Friendly Score. So it's really straightforward to do. You don't have to set up an account with them or anything like that. The other question that we would maybe get asked is if there's a fee for Friendly Score. And again, no, there's no additional fee for signing up with Friendly Score or using it. The cost is part of your monthly enterprise license. So it is only available for enterprise customers, but it is part of the cost of your license to be able to use this integrated product. Now, we do have a fair usage policy, so you should be mindful, of that policy when linking your bank accounts, so you don't link too many. But to be honest, that probably wouldn't really, very, very, very rarely you would have so many bank accounts that would sort of, go against that fair usage policy. You can link quite a few. That's not an issue at all. So the first thing then to do is to actually register for Friendly Score. So if we come out of this and I just go back into our Insight screen, what you need to do is then go to your system settings first of all. So I go to System and then I go to Settings here. And the first place I need to go is then to our external services. There's a couple of steps to setting up the Friendly Score, so I'll go through all those with you. So in external services, you can see here, I've already got Friendly Score set up in advance so that I can have my bank account set up. But for you guys, all you need to do is right click on this little window at the top here and add Friendly Score account. Okay. Once you've done that, you will get a little screen at the bottom here. Now, the only difference between the screen that you will get and my current screen at the moment is that in this section here, you'll be asked for an email address. So you will need to enter an email address, and then there will be a button just down here to say register. So whenever you're adding an email address, I would say, so bear in mind that maybe you're using maybe a generic email address or a shared inbox rather than an individual's, simply because if you use something maybe like accounts at, once your email address is linked with a bank account, it cannot be changed. So once you've actually integrated the bank feed itself, you cannot come back and change that email address. So that's why we recommend that you use something slightly more generic in case maybe the individual leaves the company or something like that. So you're probably better to have some, you know, an inbox set up so that it's like accounts at whatever your firm name is. We just recommend against using an actual individual email for that. Okay. Once you click register, then Insight will check that the email address is valid, and then you will get a message to say your account setup has been complete. So you will see this down at the bottom here. Okay, and it will let you know that then the bank feeds can now be added in the bank feed section. So that's the first thing that you need to do to register with Friendly Score. So that's the first part done. So once the account has been set up, you can then start linking your real-time bank feeds to your bank accounts in the system settings. So we can just go back up here and then maybe go to our bank section. And in our bank section, we now have an option called bank feeds. So in this section here, now you can see I've already linked my bank feed here. But in order for you to link your bank accounts, all you would need to do is hit add, and it's going to bring you up an option then to choose which bank that you want to link your accounts to. So I've taken a little screenshot of that just to show you what comes up here. So whenever you hit bank feeds, this is the option that you will get, and you can select your banks from here. Okay. So you click on the bank that you need to go to, and it will then take you through your online banking login, and you will have to do that. Now, there's a couple of things that you just need to be aware of whenever you're linking your bank accounts. Firstly, you can have a bank account from different banks. You can have online logins from different banks. So if you have a bank account with AIB, if you have one with Bank of Scotland, if you had one with Danske Bank, and you have different logins for those, all three of those banks can be integrated with Insight. That's no problem at all. If you have one login for Bank of Scotland, for example, and you have 3 accounts within that one login, all 3 accounts can be integrated with your bank accounts on Insight. Again, not a problem at all. The only issue is if you had separate logins for each of those accounts. So what you only have an option of 1 user login for each bank. All right, so if you had 3 different logins for your 3 separate Bank of Scotland accounts, you would only be able to link one of them. That's just something to be aware of. It's probably, you probably would have a login that lets you into all of your different accounts, but it's just something to be aware of. If you are logging in with different details for different bank accounts, you will only be able to link one of them. If you have 3 different bank accounts with 3 different banks, that's no problem at all. You can link all of your online accounts for each of those banks. That's fairly straightforward. It's just something for you to be aware of whenever you're setting those up. Okay. Once you've clicked on the bank's icon, then you can then confirm the details that you wish to share. So which accounts that you actually wish to share. So it might be that you have several accounts with the Bank of Scotland, but you only actually want to link one of them. So because you might have maybe savings accounts or deposit accounts or things like that, and it's only really maybe the client or the office account that you want to link. So you don't have to share all the share the details of every single account that you've got under your username. It's just the ones that you want to link with a bank account. So you can do that, and it will take you then to the login page for your bank. So you can go through the steps for all of those banks that you wish to link. So once you've done that, we just go back to our Insight screen. Then you'll actually be able to link your bank feed to particular bank accounts on the system settings. So you would then go into the bank account that you want to link. So for example, if I was going to client bank here, and then you could actually choose at the bottom here, bank feed. So now I haven't got anything on the list at the moment because my bank account is already linked. But if I had if I had more bank accounts to link, I'd be able to choose them from the drop-down list here. And then all I would need to do is hit save once I've done that. Okay, so that's all you would need to do. Now, another thing to be aware of when you are linking the bank feed to a bank account is that whenever you then open or start a bank reconciliation for this account, this will lock that bank feed in place and it cannot be changed. So just to be aware, make sure you have the correct bank feed coming through on the correct account before you actually open or start a bank reconciliation. The other thing just to be aware of when you do link your bank feed is that it takes at least 24 hours for this, whenever it takes 24 hours just for the bank feed integration to come into play. So if you are doing a bank rec before those 24 hours, you won't see the statement being downloaded yet. It does. So once you link them, I would definitely recommend that you wait at least a day before you actually do your bank rec to see the bank statement coming through. And that's just it. As I say, it's just a 24-hour period for it all then to come together and integrate for you. Okay. As you can see here, once it's been integrated on this section, if I just go to my Office bank account, this is what you will see here. It'll be default. This is my demo bank account here, and it'll tell you which bank feed is linked to this particular bank. Okay. So the next section then we'll go to is actually reconciling the bank, because once it's all set up, that's all that needs to be put in place. So we would go to our bank reconciliation just like we would normally on accounts, and then we go to bank reconciliation. And we would just open our bank rec as we would straightforward. So we go to Office, and we go Office Bank, and we hit reconcile. So then it gives us a slightly different page from normal, because we've now got this little box at the top here. So this is our online bank feed coming through here, and this is our bank reconciliation page down here. And the two can be, you can actually make one bigger and smaller. If you want to move it around the screen like that, you can do that. You can just, so that you can see more of one, less of the other, whatever way you want to do that, you can change that round. So you'll see that there's a couple of little icons available on the bank statement there. So you've got these little chain icons here, and these will all be grey until you link them to a posting that's on your system transactions page down here. Once you've linked it, then this little icon will go black. The other thing that you've got over here is this little section here where you can create a posting. So that if there isn't a posting for you to link it to, you can actually create one from this little section here. There's only 3 different types of postings that you can do at the moment. So it would be your nominal check, your office disbursement, and your office check. As we're in an office bank account at the moment, that would be what those are for. So in order to link something, and then we need to actually drag and drop. So if I just come down here, I'm just going to have a quick look for some of these transactions. So I can see here there's £100. So the first one I can see is this petty cash one. So all I need to do is just drag and drop. So if I match that up to the petty cash on the 14th, there we go. And we just link the transaction. And you can see there, it's gone green up here, and we've got our chain icon there. Okay. And again, we can also get the anything that's gone through here, court fees 467, for example. I can ring that there and link it. So I can just start linking it, and you'll notice then it marks the transaction as cleared. So everything then starts to make a difference on the bank rec at the bottom. Okay. If you link a transaction by mistake, you can unlink it just by hovering over it here and click to remove all links, or you can do that up here as well. So you can click on it and it will ask you, would you like to remove all links for this transaction? So you can go yes, and it will remove it for you. So, and equally, if you need to put it back, you can just link it again like that. Okay. You can also see that there's items that might be for more than one transaction. So it could be that you've got a toggled item. So I can see that there's a land web search there, 2022. If I open that up, I've got quite a lot of land web transactions within that one. So I can take that, I can either put it on link transaction at the top of it, and it will link all of those transactions for me and mark them all as cleared. So you can do that with multiple transactions. As you go through the system there, I'll just have a quick look here. You'll see that you can just work your way through it. So anything that you find there, just keep on linking them, and it'll make sure that those are linked as well. So you can see there that it links both of those, because that's a multiple posting, and you can do that at any stage. You can check them. As with any other bank rec, you can untoggle those groups so that you can do them all individually if you wish. You can do that as well. So now, anything that's not on the bank reconciliation, so if I have a quick look there, I could see that this one of £80 I can't see that on the 14th of February. So it's not currently on the bank rec. So then I can actually make a posting from here. So what I can do is I can go to my little section here and choose what kind of posting this is going to be. So because this is a refund that I'm getting on a nominal, I would choose nominal check. It will then take me to the posting page. So I can just make that bigger so we can see it a little bit better. So the first thing that it brings through is the amount that it's going to be put on. It also puts it on immediately as a credit because it's a credit on the bank statement, and obviously the bank that it refers to. So those are all already defaulted for me. I can't make any changes to those. I can then choose my nominal by looking at my nominal if I want to do that. And then the date's already there for me. I can put a reference in there if I want. Put a reference of refund in there. I could put even more details in the description if I want to do that. And that's all I need to do. And then I can just go back to view transactions. When I go back to view transactions, you'll see a couple of little changes have happened to that particular transaction. There's no longer an option for me to create a posting. And beside the little chain link, there is a little P to say that it's linked to a posting. Okay. Again, you can click that to remove that posting if it's been done in error. So you can always click that and it'll remove the posting for you all the way through. So as you're going through the section here, you can just keep going through the bank transactions, and you could just keep linking those. So very, very straightforward, but you just keep going through and just linking things, and it'll mark it all down, and you'll probably get to a difference. Now, obviously I've got a demo bank account on here. It's not going to, the balances don't really match what's going on in my demo database here. So it probably wouldn't make as much sense as your bank account would make. But that's just how that's done there. And as I say, you can always unlink a transaction. It works in exactly the same way as a normal bank reconciliation, in that if you need to close the bank rec and you haven't finalized it yet, when you come back into the bank rec, everything that you've done here will be saved. So you'll come back in and everything will still be linked from when you've been in previously. So until you finalize it, then it'll still stay exactly the same using the autosave function. All right. So the next part then is whenever you're actually then finalizing a bank account or a bank reconciliation. Okay. Now, whenever you're going to, you just go to you can always check your posting section as well. So you'll see that there's a different tab here. So before you even get to finalizing it, you can come in here and you can check your postings that you've made from this bank rec. So if you need to change anything, you just click on it and you can change it in this window here. So you could change the reference, or you could change the description, or anything, in there that you can put a payee in if you need to, anything like that you can do before you finalize it. You can also delete anything in here. So if you don't want the posting to be made, you can just right click and you can select the posting as well. So you can always double check all of your postings. It will also, if you do more than one posting, if you have a posting, so say example this one, if I made a post in here, I could do, so if I made that, the transactions, it'll also give me a batch total as well. So it'll work out exactly what the batch is there. So you can see that's £80 credit and £240 debit. So it makes my batch total £160 debit there. So again, you can check that as you go along before you get to the finalized section as well. So from the reconciliation page, you will also, just before I move on to that, you'll also see that the computer balance at the bottom of the screen will update with every posting that you add as well. So the difference field will always be up to date. So even though your computer balance would have come from your statement transaction at the beginning, if you're adding postings, that will update that computer balance for you as those postings are added. Okay. So whenever you finalize the section, then you can go postings and then you go to finalize. So you'll see on the finalize page that there is another section that you would, from what you would normally have on your bank reconciliation page. So because normally you'd have your cleared and your uncleared transactions in there, but you also have transactions to be posted. So you can also double check those again to make sure that those are going to be posted on this section. As with any other bank rec, you can suppress your transactions. So you can also suppress everything that's been cleared up to the date, and it's always day +1 if you're going to suppress transactions. That will only clear down anything that's been marked cleared. So everything that's currently uncleared and unreconciled will still be on the bank reconciliation whenever you come back in to start a new bank rec. Okay, so that would be exactly the same as you normally would use it. Once you're happy enough with that, then you would just hit finalize. And that will then take you through to the report section. Okay, so okay. So on the report section, there's a couple of different things that you'll find if you do have a bank feed linked to your bank account. Now, you'll only see these if you do have a bank feed linked to this particular bank account. Okay, so you'll see that you've got the cleared and uncleared transaction options as you would normally, but you also have your unreconciled items from your statement. And you also have postings as well. So you can generate those if you want to have those as well, and then generate report. So you'll be able to see all your unreconciled items from your statement. And you'll be able to see your postings. Back there. There we go. And those are the postings that have been made on that particular bank rec. Okay. So you can, as with any other bank rec report, you can come back into this session and you can get the report at a later date if you need to. So you can, and you can obviously then save it, or you can print it if you need to as well, straight away. So you can then, as with other bank recs, you can revert to a previous session, all right? So you would just do this by going back into your system settings, as you would with the bank recs, go into the bank that you need, and you can revert back to your previous session in here. And you could just go straight into February, and you do Office Bank, and you could do that. Just open the session again. Now, the thing to note about reverting back to a previous session is it will bring those items that you've marked as clear. They will be back on the session. They will be ticked, but then you can untick them as you would normally if you revert session. The only thing is that any postings that were created during that session will no longer be in the postings tab waiting to be posted. They will now be fully posted on the system as system transactions. So reverting the session does not remove the posting from the system. So it's been done, so you can't go back to undo those postings. If you need to undo those postings, then you would need to go into either the matter or the nominal, whichever posting it's been, and then you'll have to reverse them or soft delete them using the transaction grid. So that's just something to be aware of. It doesn't undo. Reverting to the bank rec session does not undo the postings that you've posted during finalizing that particular session. Okay. And that's pretty much. So that's probably everything that I've got to go through with you today about actually using the bank reconciliation screen. If we go back to our bank reconciliation screen, would anybody like me, if you want to say on the chat, would anybody like me to go through the reconciliation screen again, just to have a bit more of a look at it? I'm just very conscious of your time this morning. If we go back into our reconciliation, you can see it just starts a brand new reconciliation, and you can see what's been linked, because I haven't suppressed anything, so you can see that those are marked as linked, but obviously I can't do anything with them. But you just start a bank reconciliation as normal. So you would come into your new session, you put in your statement date and your balance again, and you would start then linking your items, as you would at the bottom here. So you could start bringing them all together. Is there anything, any screen anybody would like me to go through again, or they're not sure of? Anything like that? Yep. Michael, I can see your question there. I'm going to double check that with Deborah, just to be absolutely sure on that. Okay, for you. I'll just double check and I'll get back to you on that one regarding the SRA approval. and security. So I'll check that with her and then come back to you on that one. If that's okay. Yeah, that's no problem. We do have a training guide for that, so I can certainly send that out along with the webinar today. So we can definitely send out a training guide. We do have a full training guide for setting it up and for using it as well, Glenys. We do. The linking of it, yeah, certainly no problem at all. So if you go to system settings, so the first thing that you need to do on system settings then is going to be your external services. So that's where you right click and you add friendly score account. So whenever you add friendly score account, then you'll come to the page where in here and you need to put your email address in. So that's where you can put in the, as I say, the more maybe generic email or shared email inbox in there. And then you would just hit register. And then once that's registered, Insight just checks it and makes sure it's valid and registers it for you. Your firm ID then gets registered with Friendly Score. So you can only do this once as well. So because the firm ID gets registered with them, so you can't do it twice with the same details. And then it'll tell you that the account setup is completed and the bank feeds can now be added. So then you go to your bank feed section. So in banks, you have bank feeds, and then you hit add, and that's where it then comes up with the little option of which banks to choose from. So you can choose your banks. Then it will ask you to go through your online banking login details so that you can then choose which bank account you want to share with the database. And once you've done that, right, once you're logged into the bank, so once you've logged into the bank, then you need to do that to the actual office bank or the bank account. So you need to link them to the bank account. So once you've logged into the bank, then you choose the bank. And then once you've got your bank set up on your bank feed, then you then go into your bank reconciliation. So it's just about in any of your bank account, you choose which bank account you want to link and you hit the bank feed and you choose it from the drop down list. So once you've done the bank feed section here and added your bank feeds, then you'll be able to choose them from the drop down list on any of your accounts that you need to link them to. So you can only link them once. So one bank account to one bank account. Does that make sense, Michael? Yeah, it'll once you're logged in, then yes, once you give it the 24 hours, then it'll start being automated. So then whenever you go into your bank reconciliation screen, that's when the statement will actually appear at the top. So yeah, that's it exactly. And then obviously you can refresh it from bank. If you are sitting in your bank reconciliation screen, you can refresh it. And so it's all in real time. But yeah, definitely make sure that you give it those 24 hours before trying the bank rec. Once you've done the whole setup in the system setup section. Okay, perfect. Is there any other questions at all that I can help with? Is everybody okay? Well, what I'll do then is I will let you all get on with your day, I'm sure. Thank you very much for attending the webinar with us today. As we're kind of doing little training webinars quite frequently now. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you make a mistake, just to be sure, if you do make a mistake with anything, if you link it. So I'm just going to link something very quickly just so I can show you. If I make a mistake there, I can just click on it and I can just remove links for the transaction. And you can do that either at the bottom or at the top, just to be sure that you've covered that for you. Okay. But yeah, so if everybody's happy enough with everything there, I will let you go. And thank you very much for attending our webinar today. And we're running a series of them. So please, if you would like to attend more, we will be sending out invite links for those for our current customers, or if you would like any demonstration of the enterprise system, please let us know, as all of these functions are only on the enterprise system at the moment. So if you want to get in touch with our sales team and they can arrange a demo for you, that's absolutely fine. We can certainly do that. And we'll send out the webinar link for you today for you, and the guides. We'll try and get the guides sent out to you as well for that, so that you can have a look at maybe linking the Friendly Score and integrating your bank accounts for you. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. I will stop sharing there for a second. And I will let you all go. Okay. Take care. Thank you.